no need lah. You can harvest existential. Wait, I want to harvest existential also. To be healthy, every day you should eat about 30 grams of fiber that comes from plant food. A week, you must eat 30 varieties of vegetables and fruits, 30 varieties of plant food. A food forest is a very complex system, and so the biodiversity is there, and it provides an educational classroom for children of all ages and even to adults. So when children come here, we always explain the relationship, the food chain, the food web, photosynthesis, and all that they need to learn in science. It's a living classroom which the children will benefit with interaction with living things.
I'm an agricultural scientist. I've been working in this field for the last 30 years. Recently, I had the opportunity to visit the Green Circle farm, where I was amazed at the diversity of the plants growing there, helping and nurturing the production of the plants that give us the food. When we grow them to feed the millions, they are normally grown in what we call monoculture. So plants are grown with intensive farming, they are grown with single species, and because of that, the behavior is different. In the Green Circle farm, the food in its most natural form will present certain other properties of aroma, of fiber, of taste, and same time, the soil, which is feeding the nutrients to the plants, giving us these food, will also be very different when the soil is having influence from the roots and the microbes that are growing around the crop or plant of our choice. So both for looking at the microbes, you will find very, very different microbes in these plants at the Green Circle farm. At the same time, the leaves, the products, the fruits that we find there, we can be looking at them in the farm as a living lab.
A lot of bacteria are found in our environment, particularly the soil. So it's particularly good to have green areas in Singapore, including organic farms, because they will be having a lot of bacillus species. Some of these bacillus species are important as part of our gut bacterial flora. So these are used as probiotics, and this is related to the soil and therefore related to our sense of touch. So it is good therefore to go to organic farms. If you go to a normal farm, there are a lot of organic pesticides, for instance, and that's not good for our health. Yeah.
As scientists, we hardly have access to food, crops producing the food that are exposed to this kind of mixed environment of plants, and also exposed to the open environment. What we found at the Green Circle was this: if we think about it as a living lab, we can understand principles of how plants deal with stress. How do they cope with these mechanisms of tolerance by still being able to produce food despite these vagaries of nature. This resilience will be becoming more pertinent for the years to come. Why is that? Because of the climate change that is bringing uncertainties in the weather in the short term and the long term implications in the climate aspect. Here is something which is presenting opportunity for us to see how regenerative agriculture is actually happening, and at the same time, when we understand these, we can apply it. We can apply it for all the other intensive farming formats, so we can learn from nature and then apply it. At the same time, understanding how agriculture and food production can be more secure in the changing climate that will be coming in the next several decades.
Green Circle, this eco-farm, really embodies all the issues,
all the vision that we have been talking about, that policymakers have been talking about for green sustainable future. Just think of it. Food security, nature-based solutions for sustainability and climate change, urban biodiversity, a green circular economy, a city in nature. The other thing we always talk about is test bedding ground-up solutions. But this one doesn't have to be test bedded because it's already successful. It's been around, it's proven itself for over 21 years. This farm is not just a living example of a sustainable solution to Singapore's future. In fact, I feel it's an iconic example of what our future should be. It has all the qualities that Singapore values, or other people value in Singapore, food, a diversity of food. She's got a huge diversity of food, and she can name all the local, I believe she has about 120 plants. I think the challenge is not creative destruction, but creative conservation. Another exciting new frontier is the nexus between soil health and human health, which is, I understand, still very, very unexplored. And Evelyn's farm is a wonderful lab for studying this, because she has all the soil bacteria, all that biodiversity under the soil, which I understand is far richer. The biodiversity in the soil is far richer than that of a primary rainforest. We just don't know it. What we eat, what you eat is what you are, and how healthy you are. We could keep this farm for all that it does and for all the knowledge that it holds, which we have yet to learn.
Why waste all the effort that we have, and you cannot move an ecosystem because we farm ecologically? Why do I want the pioneer food forest of Green Circle Eco Farm to be conserved? Why?